I really like a lot of things that Matthias did to translate his story narration into visuals. The first thing I really like is in his story Spine, there's a line says,
At sunrise, they would face east, and at sunset, they would face west, tracking the sun's journey throughout the day.
so instead of this one image, he spanned that idea into a series of image. So he break down the language into like a lot of visual elements. There's a sun going up the sky from the east till the west, and also the sunflowers is facing the sun. So when he draw that, it clearly establishing a connection between the sun and the sunflower. So we know the sun is very important to the sunflowers. Second, I think what he did really well is in Story Spine, he said,
Ray became infatuated with the idea of gaining her attention. He would look away from the sun and direct his gaze towards her and get her to notice him.
how can we show that? What would Ray do to get her attention? So this is a brilliant thing that Matteo did is he take that an idea into a specific moment. So this is another thing is expand your idea into a specific moment. Okay. The third part, I think is done really well. Is this part when he start pulling, using all those pedals and make a heart. It makes me feel heartbroken. So what he did here and why this brings so much emotion is because he break down characters' feeling into actions. So we see what he did to try to get attention. So here in the narration, it says, while his leaves was beginning to wilt, he still persists in his crush to win over his love. So at this moment, what would Ray do? Now he's wilting. He's not beautiful anymore. So he did a really smart. The creator did a really smart thing here, which is after he wilt, we establish the petal fallings. And that's the moment he realized, oh, maybe I can use the falling petal to still make a heart. So even in this little moment, there's a 3-act structure. So this is like how you can expand a idea into a moment. So let's review the 3 things that Matteo did well. So first thing is break down the language into visual elements. Second is expand your idea into a specific moment. And third, how do we make a moment? Is we break down the moment into a 3-act structure: anticipation, action, and reaction. And that's how we can turn characters' feelings into a visual storytelling. What if you want to add dialogue to this story? So I think the last part of this story is a great opportunity if you want to add some dialogue. So I did a quick pass. Imagine if at the end, a human put Ray into the vase. So his lover will say hello and introduce her. Hi, I'm Mary, what's her name? And he'll say, hey, I'm Ray, nice to meet you. At the end, they happily live together. So here, adding some dialogue will establish the connection between two characters. And also here, I want to point out, there's a technique called shot reverse shot. It's often used for two-person talking to each other. So here you see the first shot is one character, and this is the back of Ray. And the second shot is we look at Ray, and this is the back shot of Mary, his lover. So when we cut these two shots together, it will feel like they're talking to each other. For me, myself, I often would start without dialogue. If I can tell a story clear without dialogue, that will be my first choice. I will only add dialogue if necessary. There's some necessary information that I need to tell my audience with the dialogue. Then, therefore, I will add dialogue.